We have something brand new, as I promised you in these final few hours on the day today for Jay's big, end of the year visit. We have brand new Save For specials, and this is one of those ones that I honest to goodness, I would wear every single day. This is most beautiful coral mixed with black spinel, fully adjustable, and we're offering it at a special, really a featured price. It was originally $134.98. It's $99.98 today with 5 monthly flex payments. So here we're incorporating what Jay does best. I mean, bringing to us the rarity and the beauty here of course, this color in natural coral, and then accenting it with black spinel, which looks exactly like black diamonds, but it's a beautiful, beautiful color combination, something we've never done in this particular look before. We have very limited quantity, so I'm gonna just turn things over to Jay and tell us a little bit about this whole creation and where this all stemmed from and the design work, because it works. You know when you see a color combination that you just see and you're like, as soon as I came out today, I'm like, I'm wearing that necklace. I love it with this color. I love it with denim that you're gonna see on Kenya. It's smart.
You know what I love about that and everything you just said? I designed this.
Wait a minute. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, I would never in a million years thought this was one of your designs. And only reason, Jay normally does much bigger, bolder looks.
I do, okay, and I have to tell you, I appreciate that too, because I'm trying to change.
Don't go changing, Jay.
No, but it's really funny because, Lynn and all the show hosts have been here for so long. We'll have something, we'll be showing it. And usually they're right like 99.99% of the time. It's kind of embarrassing. They'll go, I know you didn't design this.
Well, Jay is an amazing designer, but you have a very, like all designers, there's a very specific look to what you design. And my thing I would have never thought you designed this.
My thing is go big or go home. Yeah. I'm all about showcasing stone. And even my silver designs are very simple. I'm all about the material, the stone, So, but on this, I gotta tell you, the way I design, the way I work, and for people that haven't shopped with us before, I've said this numerous times, but I have, like, my studios, my wife calls it my man cave. She thinks it goes down, she goes, the only reason you have that is so you don't have to be around me all the time, like when I'm at home, because when I'm at home, if I'm not traveling, which is, I'm usually gone all the time, but when I'm home, I make sure I get up in the morning and I go down. That way I get things done. If I stay at the house and if I don't go down to my office, I don't get anything done during the day. And but if you go into my studio and you see how I work, and it's really well, I'm very organized. I will tell you that right now. That's why my wife and I get along so well. That's one thing that we have in common is we're extremely, extremely organized.
Oh, you both are?
Yeah.
See, my husband's organized and I'm like an absolute mess.
Are you? Yes. Are you? You don't seem like that.
I really am.
I am totally, everything has a place and everything's in its place.
That's good. I wish I'm trying. Like you said, we're trying to change.
Congratulations, guys.
We're gonna hear that a lot, by the way.
Yeah, crazy, crazy price.
Look, they're over here like, take that ring off, Lynn. Okay, I'm gonna take it off.
One of the things that I do, like, and I've told people this, I'm a very visual designer. With me, now I'm not saying I do a lot of drawings, I do a lot of designs. I have some unbelievable artists that can make my idea actually into a working piece, okay? And I'm very fortunate that I have that. But most of my designs start out with, if I sit down, if you set me in a room and say, okay, Jay, I need 12 designs, right? And you gotta have 12 designs before you leave the room. You would come back about 2 days later and all I would have done is eaten the erasers off the pencils. That's it. And
Don't put time restrictions.
That's just because I'm hungry, right? But you put me in a room and you give me specimens. I mean, in fact, you'll just have to come out and say, okay, enough. You got to just stop, okay? Because I get ideas, and that's where this came from. And so what I do is I'm surrounded by specimens of materials that we have. I start combining them, and when I combine this with the black spinel and started doing it, I thought, man, here's the thing with the spinel. If you always notice, the beads are fairly small, right? You can't really do really big looks in it. And so what you want to do is you got to do multi-strands, and you always have to figure that into the price. and everything, but I just thought these were striking. And so what I wanted to do is have the orange coral, and you see the orange coral rough there that we've cut this from. That's gonna be your main focal point, and then it goes up into the black, which I think it really is. I mean, it's so, it just looks so expensive, right? It has such high perceived value.
Never would you think under $100, and with FlexPay, the opportunity to get it home for $20. But Jay, I was holding this piece of coral.
Right.
So I always take it for granted that everybody understands.
It's an organic gemstone.
Yeah, what coral is and what it takes to go from something like this to something like this. I mean, there's so many individual steps, not to mention the licensing and all of the permits that are needed, correct? In being able to just harvest and be able to obtain this beautiful coral. It's the real deal. I mean, you can see right here, but it just amazes me that this can become this.
You know? What's striking with this, for people who, there's a lot of misconceptions about coral. Do you know, the reason I'm saying there is because a lot of people will be talking and they think coral's a plant. They think it's a plant. It's not a plant. And it's not an animal. Do you know what it is? You're buying somebody's ex-condo. That's what you're doing. When you wear coral, you're buying coral. You're buying somebody's that used to be their home. That was their home. And how coral is made is you have little animals that are called polyps. They're little aquatic animals, and they look like little starfish is what they look like. And the polyps are what actually form coral. And the polyps have these little fingers, and that's why you only find coral in salt water. You don't find it in fresh water. There is no freshwater coral. It is salt water. Because what they do is they're gathering the organic materials in that they're feeding on in the saltwater solution. And what they do is they secrete calcium carbonate. That's a byproduct. That's what coral is. Coral is made up of calcium carbonate. And so what they do, that's their home, their shell. And as they fill up, and then they keep expanding on that, expanding on that. And you can actually, if you look at coral, and you can see it here, do you see where there were little holes? You see the little swirls? Well, that's what the coral is, and you can actually see it on the face of the coral. You can see where they've exited that, and it's their exoskeleton.
Isn't it amazing that in combination that these creations just come to be?
You're
It
looking
fascinates
at coral
me,
too.
Jay.
You know, this could be not only hundreds of thousands of years old. Some of the corals literally a million years old.
That's a great
point. But they're literally thousands and thousands and thousands of years old. That's why it's so important to protect.
They're going to scoot us on. Super popular. Congratulations. $35 off today at 691-9190. It is a brand new piece, and it really does pop.